Welcome back to this YouTube channel. Today we're going back to exploring our solar system. So the last video we did Saturn and all 7 of its giant moons, Mimas, Enceladus, Tethys, Dione, Rhea, Titan, and Iaptis. Now you all know what planet is next. That's right, Uranus. Lol, I didn't mean to say that, lol. So in Uranus, yeah, the planet, not the joke. So Uranus is the 7th planet from the sun, and it is located almost 20 AU away from its star, exactly 19.19 AU, taking 84 years to orbit. And here's the surprising fact about Uranus: its axial tilt being in a staggering 97 degrees, meaning that's a lot. Uranus is literally lopsided because of a huge collision that occurred to Uranus back in like the early stages of the solar system. Uranus has 28 moons. It's also mostly the coldest planet in our solar system. Even though the temperature is not right, it's actually the coldest planet in our solar system. The gravity is less than the Earth because of its low density, and its mass is 14 Earths. Diameter 50,000 kilometers, and it's mostly made out of hydrogen, helium, and another thing, methane in it. And that's why it is not really a good place to be in, because it literally smells bad as well. Not only is it literally called Uranus, it also smells bad as well in the planet. It also looks like a cyan color appearance to it. And Uranus also has a very thin ring system, but it's not as thick as Saturn's rings, which are larger and more well known than Uranus. But still, we're going inside of its rings. You can see not any rocks come. It's mostly made out of gas. It's more gaseous rings than anything else, like gaseous rings instead of being rocky. Let's go and see if there's any rock. No, there isn't. It's mostly gaseous rings or small particles, unlike Saturn, which have actual rings. And now we're going to Uranus's 5 big moons. Like I said, there was 28 moons. 5 of them are actually the known ones. The first closest moon is Miranda. Miranda is a micro-aquaria which was discovered by Gerard Kuiper. So Kuiper has discovered Miranda, and it looks like an ash. It looks so bulged out because of its very small size, and you can see its surface is kind of mostly cratered and has some patterns to it. It takes 34 hours to orbit Uranus. Its ESI is 8%. You don't need to know about that. Axial tilt 8 degrees. Its gravity is so low. Its temperature is negative 195 degrees Celsius. Alright, next one. Ariel, the second closest moon to Uranus, and unlike Miranda, it also still has craters, but it has a lot of lines on its surface, and it takes 2 days to orbit Uranus with a slight axial tilt. The gravity is just 2% of Earth. The average temperature is negative 200 degrees. ESI is higher, and the diameter is higher than the diameter is 1,000 kilometers, while Miranda is just 400 kilometers. And it was also discovered by William Lassell in 1851, with Miranda being discovered in 1940, making Miranda very recently discovered. And Uranus was also discovered by William Herschel in 1781, meaning Miranda was discovered 200 years after Uranus was discovered, and this one was discovered almost 100 years after Uranus's discovery. Because before Uranus and Neptune's discovery, we thought that, I don't know, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn were the planets of the solar system. Now we know about Uranus and Neptune and Pluto until 2006. Alright, going back to Uranus now. Umbriel, the 3rd moon, taking 4 days to orbit Uranus, and you can see Uranus is getting farther and farther away. Its actual tilt is slightly less, just being almost 0. Gravity is 2% of the Earth. Diameter is almost the same size as Ariel, but just slightly bigger. And it is negative 206 degrees, and was also discovered by William Lassell in 1851 along with Ariel. and it has a pretty cratered surface. As you can see here, it looks so cratered, unlike Ariel's like cracks. This area is very cratered as well. And the biggest moon of Uranus, you know that, it's Titania, not Titan in Saturn, Titania. Titania takes 8 days to orbit Uranus. As you can see, Uranus is getting farther and farther away as we go. It's 3% of the Earth's gravity, negative 210 degrees as its temperature, ESI just 10.7%, and was discovered, and just like another one, it was discovered by William Herschel. As you can see here, William Herschel. However, it was discovered way earlier than Umbriel and Ariel, as it was discovered in 1787, which is also a few years after Uranus's discovery, which was also by William Herschel. And a fun fact, Miranda is the only big moon in the Uranus that wasn't discovered by William Herschel. It was discovered by Gerald Kuiper. Herschel discovered Uranus, Ariel, Umbriel, Titania, and Oberon. Alright, Titania, here's the last things about Titania. It's mostly an Aquaria planet. Its climate is mostly has a water surface, silicon mantle, and a metallic core, and that's Titania. Oberon, the last big moon of Uranus. Oberon is another planet in Uranus, moon in Uranus that takes 13 days to orbit Uranus, and its appearance and its semi-major axis is 583,000 kilometers. ESI 10%. Diameter slightly smaller than Titania's 1,500 kilometers. It is still also 1,500 kilometers, 1,522 kilometers. This one's 1,578 kilometers. Meaning Orion is the second largest moon of Uranus. Also has a very cratered surface, as you can see, like a ginormous craters all over the surface. And gravity is 3%, also negative 210 degrees temperatures, and that is Oberon. So that's all of Uranus. Actually, we're not done. We're going to show you some more dwarf moons of Uranus. So we're going to show you 3 dwarf moons of Uranus, like 3 random ones. First one, Cressida, an asteroid taking 11 hours to orbit Uranus. And its gravity is just about like 0.5, just 1,000th of a percentage of Earth's gravity, and its rotational period's 11 hours, and it's entirely locked with Uranus. Another dwarf moon, you can see this is a brighter one, 70-kilometer asteroid taking 15 hours to orbit, and it looks like this, and diameter is just 70 kilometers. The last dwarf moon of Uranus, Puck, which is a larger one, 147 kilometers, taking 18 hours to orbit Uranus. As you can see, it's a negative 206 degrees. Alright, this is Uranus, guys. If you're done with the channel, please make sure to subscribe if you want some more tour of the solar system. And next, we're going to be looking at Neptune after this planet. And it also has a funny name as well. Adios.